Hello, my friend. Welcome back to my channel. Again, the subject is the same, the so-called violence against women, but this time it's going international. This is a quick overview of the International Violence Against Women Act, which was under discussion and now got approved by the Foreign Affairs Committee of the Senate a couple of weeks ago. It's now waiting for the full Senate vote. Let's take a look at the package. I mean, what's inside the package, not the label, which is violence against women. It's quite an attractive label. I'm not listing everything in the bill and make you bored, but just mentioning those sections that needs to be addressed. You can visit my blog if you like to get the full text of the bill. Section 2, Findings. Congress makes the following findings. According to the United Nations, approximately 1 out of every 3 women throughout the world has been beaten, coerced into sex, or otherwise abused in her lifetime. The World Health Organization has reported that up to 70% of women in some countries report having been victims of domestic violence at some stage in their lives. So this is a very, very generic statement, and the 70% come out of thin air. It is not based on any peer-reviewed researches conducted by any kind of organization. Some organizations like SaveService.org in US has been doing certain analysis on this particular act and found that this claim is very highly misleading because it overstates the incidence of partner violence reported in peer-reviewed studies and ignores the problem of female-initiated abuse. There has been a lot of peer-reviewed research conducted around the world that consistently shows women are likely or more likely than men to engage in intimate partner aggression. One study of university students in 32 countries around the world found that 21% of women and only 9% of men had assaulted their dating partner in the previous year. Women who have experienced violence are also at higher risk of contracting HIV. I don't know why they didn't include gonorrhea, hepatitis, tuberculosis, skin diseases, and all other kind of contagious diseases. Why is it only HIV? Is this talking about sexual assault? Then the act should cover homosexual contacts too, shouldn't it? This is totally vague and unverifiable. Violence against women is perpetuated by poverty, a lack of educational or employment opportunities for girls, parental concerns to ensure sexual relations within marriage, the dowry system, and the perceived lack of value of girls. In other words, people are getting violent against poor, uneducated, jobless women. Is that correct? Is that how one should understand this? If that's the case, then how about poor, uneducated, jobless men? Are they safe? Isn't there a need to protect them? Anyway, this finding is like pretty long, and let me break it down here. Violence against women is perpetuated by parental concerns to ensure sexual relations within marriage. I'm speechless. If any of you has any wild idea about this, please let me know. The other section is violence against women is perpetuated by dowry system. I don't think there is dowry system anywhere else than in India. India government is suggesting to make dowry system more transparent by registering dowry articles. Several rulings of Indian Supreme Court clearly says customary gifts are not dowry and won't come under the purview of Dowry Prohibition Act. Dowry is an extra benefit that only girls get apart from their statutory right to inheritance. But White House seems not happy with that. The other part of the finding is violence against women is perpetuated by the perceived lack of value of girls. It's not clear that what is the definition of value here and from what perspective. If it is from monetary perspective, even educated women who has no job doesn't have any value, and so do men. If it is from a relationship perspective, women can still undertake all the responsibilities of a family, whereas a man completely failed to undertake any of his responsibilities of the family. Apparently, he even failed to make a family. When I say responsibilities of a man, that is exactly in line with what courts across the globe has been enforcing. It's pay alimony, pay child support, no child custody, and absolutely no conjugal rights. If such perceptions are reasons for violence. Why are men excluded to get protection under this proposed act? Statement of policy. Support and build capacity of indigenous non-governmental organizations that are working to prevent and respond to violence against women and girls internationally, particularly women's non-governmental organizations and groups involving male advocates. In India, a non-governmental organization is something that anyone can launch. By definition, it can be a trust, society, or a company registered under Section 25 of the Companies Act. There are no rules or specific audits to enforce a particular mode of work or motive set by law for these organizations. What government look for is any tax manipulation and the nature of business other than what is mentioned in the Articles of Association. Under these circumstances, it is a matter of high security concern to allow a foreign nation to directly involve and control local organizations and groups. Enhanced training by United States personnel of professional foreign military and police forces and judicial officials to include specific and thorough instruction on preventing and responding to violence against women and girls internationally. Does that sound like a military base with the label of non-governmental organization? I'll talk more about this later. Section 11. Prevention of child marriage as an important part of preventing violence against girls. As per Islamic laws, any woman who attained puberty is legally eligible to marry. Reading that together with this section might make you think that this is for those nations who has Islamic laws. It sounds more like another card as weapons of mass destruction, doesn't it? Weapons of mass destruction, prevention of child marriage. The term violence against women and girls means any act of violence against women or girls that results in or is likely to result in physical, sexual, or psychological harm or suffering to women or girls, including threats of such acts, coercion, or arbitrary deprivation of liberty, whether occurring in public or private life, and includes physical, sexual, and psychological violence occurring in the family, including battering, sexual abuse of female children in the household, dowry-related violence, marital rape, female genital cutting and mutilation, forced child marriage, and other traditional practices harmful to women and girls, known as spousal violence and violence related to exploitation. Physical, sexual, and psychological violence occurring within the general community, including rape, sexual abuse, sexual harassment, and intimidation at work, in educational institutions and elsewhere, trafficking in women and girls, and forced prostitution. And physical, sexual, and psychological violence perpetrated or condoned by the government of the country of which the victim is a resident, regardless of where the violence occurs. The key focus of White House is on other countries' family, traditional practices, and government. Since the definition is so wide, anything can be termed as violence. Psychological harm or suffering to women or girls can even be a suffering for not letting them watch a movie. In other words, if U.S. military wants to enter a foreign nation, essentially there will not be any particular reason. Violence against women is another card like weapons of mass destruction. This is the overview of what the Act is meant for. As I promised earlier, I will come up with the rest of the sections, which is about the implementation, planning, execution, and stuff like that as soon as I can. Comments are welcome. Subscribe and stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.